Game tonight, they will be moving from south to north, wearing their away blues tonight, while Rochester in their away whites tonight. And we are underway as referee Brooke Weiss blows his whistle. And here we go with the 14th game of the season here tonight for Energy FC. And the ball is up in the air, and it's headed out by Rochester, but quickly headed back in by Energy. Lopez has it now to Kyle Gregg, over to Abraham Villon, and he tried to find Otta here on the near side. Dugeri, but he could not catch up to it. It'll be a throw-in early for the Rochester Rhinos as we are just underway here from Oklahoma City, as the Energy look to remain unbeaten here in the last 5 games, and the ball is headed out and went off of a white jersey. The referee says it'll be Energy throw-in just off to our left as we begin here early on from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, they've started very lively, the Energy lads. They knock the ball forward, and they're doing something that I like to see. I like to see him playing a little bit high. You know, it pushes the other players back, and that's a good thing. I think that we play much better when our defenders push up and push our midfield up.
Here's a long pass down the field by Evans, looking on the far side for David Lichty, and the ball goes across the goal line, carried by the wind again, and it will be a goal kick for Rochester. And their goalie is John McCarthy, comes in with a .625 goals against average, has 5 shutouts on the season with 18 saves. And so he will kick it away for Rochester here as we play in the 2nd minute. It will be a late arriving crowd mode tonight because of the World Cup game with USA and Portugal. And unfortunately, if you haven't heard, Portugal came back with a last-second goal in stoppage time. And so USA ties Portugal, comes to a 2-2 draw in that game, as here we are just started and the ball goes out for a Rochester throw-in off to our left. Really disappointing outcome for USA, considering they had scored and took it into stoppage time, but they'll take a draw too.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as disappointing as you would think. You know, I think if they'd have started the game off and said we're going to draw, that wouldn't have been bad against Portugal. I mean, 5 years ago, Portugal would have stuffed us. So,
yeah.
you know, they've done very well. I think they've done good. Just means we've got to get a draw against Germany.
Yep. Here is a play back defensively for the Energy, and both teams wanted a foul, neither got it, and here is Gareth Evans who comes out with it, up to Michael Thomas along the far touchline. He brings it across midfield, but is kicked away by the Rhinos, and they will have it defensively. Now a long pass up, and it's headed out by Evans, back across midfield. Thomas with a head on it, and David Lichty saves it before it goes out of bounds, and Michael Thomas comes out with the ball just beyond midfield. Ball comes now to the near side to Pivo Due. Due along the near touchline. A left-footed pass down the touchline. It goes out for a throw-in for Rochester, just in front of their own bench.
Yeah, see, I like that. I like the fullbacks playing it down the line. If there's nothing on, you know, force them to get into the corners and then get the Rochester lads turning.
Rochester has it now offensively as they bring it across midfield. David Lichty defending. Ball's on the far touchline. A nice one-touch pass to Alex Dixon around down the left touchline. Here's a cross into the top of the 6. A shot and a nice save by Kippen. The shot is off the crossbar and cleared by Oklahoma City.
That was a let-off for us. Great save by John. Then the guy came steaming in and he should have put it in. And he's hit the crossbar.
Rochester with it back again. They could have taken an early lead here in the 4th minute, but Kippen with a great save for John. That is his 35th save of the season. Rochester back with it offensively down the left touchline. Alex Dixon with it. Here's a left-footed cross, and that ball is going to sail over the crossbar. It'll be a goal kick as the Energy can breathe a little bit easier here, Mo, after that near miss by Rochester.
That was a real let-off for us. I mean, John done tremendous, but the guy should have, you know, when John saved it, he should have put it in, and he's hit the crossbar from about 7 yards. So that's good news for us.
So Kippen will have a goal kick here. And here it is. It is up into the air, carries across midfield. The ball bounces and finally picked up by Rochester, and it looked like it went out, but it stays in. And the Energy come down with it as Mark Howard has it, and Howard will play it over to Gareth Evans. Evans now just at the top of the arc in front of his penalty box. Here is Abraham Villon with it. He gives it up to Mark Howard back near the box, and here's a dangerous pass into the box, and Kippen has to come out to clear it before Rochester's Johnny Mendoza gets a foot on it. And now the Energy's Michael Thomas with it. looking for Kyle Gregg back in the lineup after an ankle injury that he suffered in Wilmington, North Carolina a couple weeks ago. Thomas with it. Back to Peebo Dewey. Dewey up to Gregg, and the ball is headed out by Rochester. It'll be a throw-in for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, the left back, I thought he was going to be playing centre half, but he's playing at left back. He's got to be 6'8", the fella. So we want to keep him out of the box.
Yeah, he is huge, isn't he? Wow.
Yeah.
Here is a chance for Oklahoma City down the near touchline. Abraham Vion looking for Otta. Otta with a cross. It is in the air and headed out by Rochester, but right to an energy player. That's Kyle Miller with a long shot from distance, and on the ground picking it up is John McCarthy with a save. Nice chance there for the energy here in the 6th minute.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity there. We, although, you know, when, like I was just saying, the guy who's 6'7", we've hit it over the back post, and of course, who's going to head it out? He did.
Yes, he did. McCarthy lays it down to himself, and now we'll clear it up on a high pass, and here is a flag, and it's going to be a foul called against Rochester. The first foul of the game goes against the men in white, and so it'll be a free kick for the Energy back in their defensive third.
Yeah, the forward just ran straight into Peebo, who was leaping to head it, and just knocked him over.
So Mark Howard will take the free kick, and here it is. Up in the air. Ball drifts in the wind. Headed out by Rochester. Headed back in, though, by Rochester. Dangerous play, and now they come out with it. And here it is as Mike Garzi had it. He'll play it back to Patrick Slojic, and he will go to the far wing to Tony Walls. Walls plays it down the line, high up in the air. Ball again floats up into the wind and headed out by Mark Howard. Picked up by Rochester. Here comes Michael Thomas with a play on it defensively. And Rochester will kick it back in. Pat McMahon just tries to, I guess, clear it out, and it goes right to Dewey. Dewey with the pass up near line. Kyle Gregg with a nifty pass between his foot, but it's intercepted by Rochester. Ball comes down to David Lichty now. Up to Abraham Vion. Here's the Energy with a chance for Kyle Miller, but Miller can't catch up to it. It goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester.
A little bit unlucky there because Kyle made a great run, and Vion knocked it out, but just a touch too hard.
Here's a throw-in for Rochester, and it goes out without touching anyone, so it'll be a throw-in for Energy FC. Kyle Miller will take the throw-in. The Grid finally arrived here, Mo, tonight after watching the World Cup game.
Yeah, they're coming in with their drums.
Kyle Miller gets a throw-in for Energy at midfield, directly across from us. This is the third game this week for Rochester. As we talked about earlier, the throw-in comes in, headed up by the Energy, and now it's headed back in by Lopez, and now Thomas with a header on it. And finally, the ball comes down to Rochester as they bring it across midfield into the circle. Rochester now brings it down to the near touchline. Ball cross comes into the middle to Colin Roth. Roth gives it up back to the captain, Tyler Rosenlund. Rosenlund comes to the near side to Johnny Mendoza. Back to Rosenlund, and they will play it back to the far side to Tony Walls. Now comes back to the captain, Rosenlund. Back to the far side. A one-touch pass down the far touchline. Defended by Evans, and now it's kicked out. Kyle Miller actually gets a throw in as it went off the foot of Josimar Sanchez, making his 4th appearance of the season for the Rochester Rhinos. Rochester played on Tuesday night against DC United of the MLS in an Open Cup game and won 1-0, and then beat the Dayton Dutch Lions 2-0 on Friday night as they intercept a pass from the Energy, and now a whistle and a foul called against Mikey Lopez of the Energy. And so Rochester will have a free kick from about 25, 30 yards out.
We've got to watch here. Look at the big lads going to the back of the box. That's what we've got to watch. Gareth and Mark have got to pick up those two Jack the Giants, really.
Patrick Slojic is 6'6", and Thomas Obasi is 6'4". I'm not even going to attempt to say his first name. And here is the free kick by the Rhinos, set up on the left side of the field, about the edge of the box from about, again, 30 yards out, as the referee will set the wall. And here it is, a line drive, and cleared by Dewey. Back to Sanchez, who gives it up to the near, or on the far touchline. Here's another cross in. Ball bounces in the box. Kyle Gregg with a clear for the Energy. And it comes back out to Rochester.
Yeah, I think what we've got to do is try and stop them getting those crosses in, because with these two big lads, they're very dangerous in the air, and they're pushing forward, the two fullbacks and the centre back, pushing forward from throw-ons and free kicks. Got to be very careful.
Gareth Evans had a slide tackle, knocked the ball out. It was a throw-in for Rochester. They quickly get it back in. Pat McMahon with a pass down the touchline. It goes off of a Rochester player, that's Rosenlund, but he gets it back, and here is Sanchez again. Nice defensive play by Mikey Lopez for the Energy. Ball comes to Garzi. Garzi with a dangerous pass, and the Rhinos get it back. Here is Sanchez with it. Nice slide tackle by Lopez again, but Rochester right there. Pat McMahon with a pass to the top of the arc. Here's Rosenlund looking for a shot. Still looking for a shot, and there it is, and it bounces off of Mark Howard's knee, and Dewey will head it out for the Energy. Right back, though, at Pat McMahon. McMahon to Rosenlund. Ball bounces at the top of the box and cleared by Evans. Kyle Gregg lets it bounce over his head, and Rochester gets it back, but right there is Otta. And Ujiri cannot control it, and Rochester will clear down the field, and here comes Kempen out, all the way out of his box on the near touch line, and he will give it up to Peebo Dewey as we play in the 12th minute here in Oklahoma City. No score, Rochester and the Energy. Long pass headed out by Rochester, and here's Michael Thomas, takes it off of his chest. He brings it to Vion, just outside the box on the near side. Vion down to Otta with a one-touch cross, and it is loose and headed out by Rochester. Here's Kyle Miller with a shot. Oh, just to the wide right of the net.
That was a very, very good attacking move. Very unlucky there. Should have hit the target though, Carl.
I thought it actually went in for a second.
Yeah, should have hit the target. I mean, I know he was a distance out, but no one putting him under pressure, so you've got to look to hit the target there. You don't get them opportunities too often. But yeah, great attacking from Iljon. Abe would put it down the line and got a good cross in. Just needed to finish it.
Here's the goal kick by Rochester, taken by Rosenlund at midfield. And a one-touch pass up by Garzi. Headed out again by the Energy. And now the Rochester Rhinos will play it at midfield. One pass back, and now they come forward with it. And a touch pass. So here is going to be an offsides call, as they had two players behind the last line of defense. And it'll be an offsides call, and now the referee's going to have a word with one of the Rochester Rhino players as he wanted to continue play after the whistle had blown. And so Alex Dixon will get a talking to by referee Brooke Weiss. It'll be a free kick for the Energy here in the 13th minute. Mercy can help you do more of what you love. Go to mercy.net/performance to learn how. Mercy, proud sponsor of Energy FC. Jack Admiral Mo Bourne from Purble Stadium on the campus of Bishop McGinnis High School here in Oklahoma City. Here's Howard with a long pass up. It's over the head of everyone. It bounces a couple times into the box, and McCarthy comes out and will take it himself. Long left-handed pass out, all the way almost to midfield. And now a touch pass up the line. Evans with the clear, but it's taken right by Rochester, and a nice defensive play by David Lichty as he clears it back to Kempen. And so Kempen controls it at his feet and will walk it out to the top of the box. Energy coming off of a victory last weekend against Sacramento Republic in a big 2-0 victory over Sacramento. And now Kempen will pick it up and thought he was going to punt it out, but actually he'll lay it down to his feet and he'll just kick it out. Long kick up. Kyle Gregg trying to get ahead on it. Can't. Rochester does. And Evans had it, and a foul and a little bump after the play. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, Gareth actually kind of bumped Colin Roth after the play was over. He's fortunate, no, he didn't come away with a yellow card.
Very fortunate, very fortunate. And now the guy ain't gone 10 yards, and he's still complaining. You know, you got to wait. If you're not sure he's not there, then wait for him to move away. Don't take it and then complain.
Johnny Mendoza knocks it out for Rochester. It'll be an Energy throw-in here for Dewey. Dewey looking long down the field, has Kyle Gregg, and Gregg's pass is stolen by Mendoza as he was looking for Otta, but just out of his reach. And here come the Rhinos near midfield on the far touchline as they bring it across the touchline. And now they'll play it back as Patrick Slojic has it. And now it goes to Mendoza. And Mendoza's pass is stolen by the Energy. Here is Lopez looking for someone to pass to, and he actually had to go back, but finally Otta is there, and he comes away with it. Here's Mark Howard now. Mark Howard will play it back to Kempen, and Kempen will one-touch it out, and not a very good touch at all as the pass goes, or the clear goes over to Kyle Miller, and all he can do is knock it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester here in the 16th minute.
Two poor mistakes there. I mean, the ball played back to John, and he hasn't caught it right, and it's spun up in the air, and then Kyle hasn't got it either, and now they've got it.
Rochester with it. Mikey Lopez. Nice defensive play that time. And here's a slide tackle, and a foul is called on Rochester. As Lopez is slow in getting up, that foul on Johnny Mendoza, who is coming into tonight with 3 yellow cards, and he's fortunate he didn't get one there.
You can understand why with 3 yellow cards, because that tackle was all he was aiming for there was the player. He had no attempt for the ball. He just slid in, and he wanted the player to know he was there. That's out of order. He should have been booked there.
Energy with it now as Thomas will send it up over to Evans. Evans will have only one pass, and that is back to Kempen. And Kempen will clear it up. Ball is up in the air across midfield over some heads, and Rochester comes down with it along the defensive line. Pass up in the middle of the field and kicked out by Lopez of the Energy. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester just in front of Oklahoma City's bench. Pat McMahon will take the throw-in for Rochester. It comes in, headed out by Dewey, but Colin Roth right there. Roth still with it. And a long pass over to the far touchline, saved almost before it went out of bounds for the Rhinos. And here is a pass in, and Evans clears it. And boy, Evans and Roth, Mo, got to watch those two, huh?
Well,
and here's a whistle on a foul.
I tell you, Gareth is annoyed at him because every time he plays the ball, he's always catching him just after the ball's played, and he's aiming for him. And because of that, I think Gareth is trying to show him that he's a better player than he is, and I think he's taking too many touches. He's got to start playing it a little bit quicker and not get caught, because he'll go through him, that guy, Rolf.
So the Energy get a foul, and they will have a free kick right side of the field from 30 yards out. It'll be Otta, Dugeri, and Abraham Beyond. And yesterday in practice, we saw Otta hit a of a free kick on a set piece. See if he can do it here again as we play in the 18th minute. And actually, I thought Abraham was going to take it. Now here's Otta. Kick is into the box, and it bounces right of the net, and it's out of bounds for a goal kick.
Yeah, it'd have been nice if he could have done what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
Still.
First Fidelity Bank is excited to help kick off a great inaugural season with Oklahoma City Energy FC. First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go, FFB.com. Goal kick for John McCarthy and the Rochester Rhinos. A near sellout crowd here tonight. And again, a late arriving crowd because of the World Cup game. That was anticipated, and it's happening. Here's the ball headed by the Rhinos. And now they have a chance. Nice tackle by Dewey to take it away. And now Dewey has it along the near touch line up to Kyle Gregg. Gregg touches it to David Lichty. Lichty looking for Abraham Beyond. Beyond in the middle of the field, 30 yards out. And looking for Otta, and he just couldn't get it to him. And now the Energy with it as they regroup. Michael Thomas with it. Down the far touchline to Dugeri. Dugeri with the ball on his left foot. Outside the box. Here's a cross and headed out by Pat McMahon for a corner kick for the Energy, the first of the night.
Yeah, we looked quite sharp there. I mean, it was a good ball down to the line. Addy got past the fullback and got a decent cross in. Just didn't have anyone at the back post. But the guy was there and knocked it out for a corner.
So the corner kick comes here in the 20th minute. No score between Rochester and the Energy. Both teams have had a good chance to score. Rochester had an excellent chance, but a great save by Kempen. And then Kyle Miller had a good shot on goal for the Energy. And here is Otta's cross. Dugeri with it. And it's cleared by Rochester. Abraham Beyond, though, comes back to the edge of the box, looking for Thomas. Now to Dugeri. with the ball on his left foot. Gets by one man for a cross. Here it is in the air and headed out right to David Lichty. And a handball on Lichty, and it will be coming out for the Rhinos as David had a great chance, but he will be called for a handball first.
I thought Addy did great there. He got past the fullback and got the cross in. When we get those sort of crosses in, we really want to be doing a little bit more with it.
So free kick for Rochester here from the top of the box, and John McCarthy, the Rochester keeper, will take his time, and after having played 2 games, Mo, in a couple of days, I'm sure you might be looking at a few tired legs by the end.
Yeah, I'm not so sure we'll be looking at them yet, but certainly into the second half, I'm thinking that if they're playing the same lads, I mean, we don't know what the teams were when they played in the other games, but they're obviously going to use their squad, and they've got 20-odd players, so.
Here's a throw-in for Rochester. Ball bounces and finally cleared by Evans all the way down the field, but that's going to be out of bounds, and so it'll be a throw-in for Rochester near midfield.
Yeah, but I'd rather see Gareth doing that than just, you know, sitting on the ball and trying to play it, because they're catching him with it.
Ball's knocked out by Rochester, and a throw-in for the Energy down on the near touchline. Dewey with the throw-in. Ball hangs up in the air, and a foul is going to be called as Dugeri was pushed in the back on that throw-in. And so the Energy will have another free kick here. And Otta will take it quickly as he saw the keeper out. Not a bad idea. The keeper was all the way pretty much to the top of the box, and Otta, trying a free kick from way back beyond midfield, tried to score from there.
He's seen Beckham do it.
You need more of a line drive. You can't float that, though, right?
Yeah, we'll change his number to 23.
22nd minute here in Oklahoma City, and a goal kick for the Rhinos.
I've got to say, though, it was a good idea. I mean, the keeper was edge of the box. If it had been on line, he wasn't. But if he had been, that would have been a tremendous effort.
Ball's near side to Dewey, and Dewey kicks it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester at midfield. Pat McMahon throws it in, headed out by Dewey. Headed back in by the Rhinos, Rosenlund. Abraham Beyond now with it to David Lichty. Lichty looking for a pass and loses his touch on it. And here the Rochester Rhinos come with it. Mike Garzi will go to the far touchline to Sanchez. Sanchez brings it across midfield. Comes back to the circle to Garzi. And they'll play it back. Garzi with it. And looking for Rosenlund, but he lets it go through his legs. And now a long pass down is intercepted by the Energy. Lopez with it to Michael Thomas with a touch pass up to Abraham to Kyle Gregg, and the ball bounces over Gregg's head, and Rochester has it. And now they will go long with it. High pass up, floats again in the air, headed up by Rochester to Roth. Here's a pass into the box, cleared by Kyle Miller. David Lichty with a header on it, and now Abraham Beyond runs with the ball across midfield. Gives it up for Dugeri.
Oh, Michael Thomas was on there. Yeah, he could have played it inside, Michael.
Debo Dewey with a throw in now into Abraham Beyond. He tried to chest it back to Dewey, but wasn't hard enough, and Rochester kicked it out. So the Energy will have a throw in at midfield. And it's headed up by Pat McMahon. David Lichty, though, intercepts it. Beyond. Over to Lichty. Lichty looking for Kyle Miller down the right touchline, and it's just out of his reach.
That was a bit unlucky. That, you know, it came from Abraham and went across to David. David tried to play it down the line. Kyle was just a half-inch short.
So Rochester will have a throw in deep down into the far corner. 24th minute. No score. Headed up by the Rhinos. Lopez with a touch on it to Thomas, to Lichty, now to Villon, and his cross into the box, and Kyle Gregg is not there, and the Rhinos cleared out. Mark Howard with a nice chest as he brings it down to Lopez, to Villon. Villon looking for Gregg, and a bad clear by Rochester. He goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Energy.
I think the centre-back there was just pleased to get it away from, because they played a couple of really short, sharp balls, and I think he was all over the shot.
Michael Thomas will take this throw in for the Energy. He will wait for Gareth Evans to set up inside the box around the edge of the top of the 6, or just beyond that a little bit by a couple of yards. And here's the long throw by Thomas. It is in the air and bounces down, and again cleared by Rochester for another energy throw in.
Same thing, I would have thought.
This will come pretty much with the edge of the top of the box from about 18 yards out. Looking for Gareth Evans again. And here's the long throw. It's up in the air, headed up, flicked up, and headed out by the Rhinos. Otto, though, with it to Michael Thomas. And Thomas looking for Abraham Vion. And it's intercepted by McMahon, but right there is Otto Dugeri with it. And a little flick pass and a late tackle. And now we're going to have a whistle as we come in as Johnny Mendoza fouled Otto Dugeri, and that's the second time Mendoza has come in on a hard tackle, Mo.
I can't believe that the referee's not even spoke to him yet. And the guy's he's the hit man, obviously, and he's done a couple of awful tackles, really, late tackles, which could injure players. I just think it's. And if that's 10 yards, thank you. He must have heard me, the guy. That's why I think we should have that white chalk.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I think it's a great idea.
I think eventually, Mo, you will see that at this level.
Yeah, I think you should have.
Here is the cross into the box and headed out by the Rhinos. He goes out of bounds for an energy throw-in. Michael Thomas to take the throw-in far side, about halfway up the line from the 18.
This is the best spell we've had so far. We've had like 5-6 minutes on top.
Throw-in comes out, headed out by Rochester. Abraham Biondo with it, and he tried to get a corner kick out of it, but instead the Rhino just jumped over it, and it'll be a throw-in for Rochester. Again, deep down into their corner. No score here in Oklahoma City as we play in the 27th minute, and a whistle and a foul, a handball called against Rochester, so the Energy will have another free kick from pretty much the same spot they had on that far side of the field just a couple of minutes ago. We'll see if Otto Dugeri can get a better kick away this time, Mo.
Yeah, I just think that we're going to struggle a little bit with kicks into the air because they're dwarfing us, some of them. In saying that, you know, we've got Gareth and Mark up there, but they're the only two really of any great height because you've got Addy taking the kick, but then Addy jumps and loses height.
Here is the kick by Abraham Vion, and almost in there, but headed out by Thomas Obasi. And he cleared it over the net, so it'll be another corner kick for the Energy here, their second of the half.
We've had a good spell here. We've 5 or 6 minutes and we've been pressuring them. They didn't come out of their half or even out of their penalty box. But still no goals to show for it. This is what we need. We need a goal now off this corner.
Dugeri will take the corner. A lot of pushing and shoving in the box.
Yeah.
Short corner to Lopez, and Lopez hits off of a Rhino. They wanted a handball in the box. The Energy will not get it. And the Rochester Rhinos clear it all the way down the field for a throw-in for the Energy. And Dewey will take it quickly back to Kempen in his own box, and now it comes back out to Peebo. Dewey looking for a long pass down. Headed out by the Rhinos. Tyler Rosenlund with it. Comes to the near side. Just inside the box. And Abraham Vion with a little nifty takeaway. And now over to Thomas. Far side to Kyle Miller. Miller into Abraham Vion to Thomas, top of the box. A one-touch to Vion. Here's a shot by Kyle Gregg. A touch back to Thomas. And it's knocked out by Rochester.
That was good defending by Rochester because the lads there played it really sharp, short, very quick, very unlucky. But in all fairness to Rochester, they did defend with great speed.
They were able to get a throw-in out of it, the Rhinos were. Ball stays in now along the touchline. Mikey Lopez with it, and he cannot find David Lichty, and the ball goes out for another throw-in on the far side, deep down in the corner.
Well, we've had like about 10, 12 minutes now of constant pressure. You know, we really would like, it would really be a good thing to get a goal now because you keep getting this pressure and you keep thinking, oh, is it coming, and then they break away and do something silly.
Energy had a throw-in. It comes back to Mark Howard, now to Peebo Dewey on the near touch line. Dewey looking for Kyle Gregg, and it is over his head and also over the head of Tony Walls. And it's back to the keeper, John McCarthy, who wants to settle his defense down and will wait for everyone to clear out. And actually will wait for Kyle Gregg to go challenge him. And now he will flick it up to himself. And taking a couple of seconds off the clock, and he will punt it out. Ball's in the air, and it actually, unfortunately, came off of Dewey's shoulder for a Rochester throw-in. He kind of tried to turn away from it, Mo, and
just caught him. Yeah.
Here's a throw-in for the Rhinos, and Thomas gets a head on it. Here comes Kimpin out, top of the box. He slides to make the save. 31st minute. And Kimpin will punt it out. Looking for a flick on by Gregg. Comes over to Otta now after that flick on. And actually went off of a Rochester Rhino out of bounds. So Dugeri will throw it in quickly to Dewey. Dewey back to Otta and back to Peebo, and a whistle, and the ball was out of bounds. It went over the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester.
Yeah, we could have done without that because really there was no pressure, and it was just a pull ball played back and a little bit too quick.
So Rochester will have a throw in. Dewey with a head on it. Rochester, though, intercepts, and Rosenlund will play it all the way back to his keeper. And a one-touch clear. Viondo with a nice header on it. Up to Lichty, and they will play it back to Kyle Miller, and now back to Gareth Evans. Evans, dangerous pass to Lopez, but Lopez able to one-touch it out to Dewey.
Did very well there, Lopez. Awkward ball, and he well played.
Here is a pass up to Otta. Otta along the near touchline. Here's a high cross. It floats up into the air, and who gets a head on it? Lichty does, Rochester does, and it's cleared by Rochester out of bounds by Josemar Sanchez. Another throw-in for the Energy.
Yeah, we're certainly having the better of the first half, but again, you know, it's goals that count. We've had probably 60-70% of the game. They had the first 5 or 10 minutes, which I thought, wow. But now they've sat back and they're just sitting here, and we're doing very well except for the goals.
Michael Thomas will throw it in. Looking for Evans. Ball is in the air.
Oh.
Bicycle kick by Kyle Gregg. And it goes off of the goal line for a goal kick for the Rhinos. Eat, drink, and play at Kickapoo Casino, Hera and Shawnee. 2 locations, just 30 minutes from Oklahoma City. Kickapoo Casino, get rewarded. Jack Damrow, Mo Bourne from Cribble Stadium here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Glad to have you along on 96.1 KXY. Here's the goal kick by the Rhinos. It comes up to Roth. Roth down to Mendoza. Edge of the box. Now he's in the box. Looking for a shot, and is cleared by the Energy's Mark Howard out of bounds for a throw-in.
They do attack quickly. They're very good at that. When they do break, they break very quickly, and they're very accurate at where they're going.
Sanchez gets the throw in. Now comes to Mendoza. Back to Sanchez. Little hill pass, but stolen by Lopez. And the Energy now with it. There's a pass up to Kyle Gregg, and he will send it back to Miller. Kyle Miller with it along the touchline. Up to Lopez, and then over Kyle Gregg. Gregg cannot control it, and Rochester comes out with it. They bring it across midfield. Mendoza with it, being defended by Miller. Now he switches directions, comes to the middle of the field. Here's a pass to the near touchline. Sanchez with it. And Michael Thomas steps in to intercept it. David Lichty up to Kyle Gregg, and Gregg actually kind of slipped on the turf. And so the Rhinos come out with it. Pat McMahon with it. Howard with a header on it. And Thomas will play it, and the Rhinos have it back. Here is Mendoza. Mendoza to Roth. Nice clear by Garrett to step in. Yes.
Yeah, very well played by Gareth Evans there. Little touch. Very finessed.
Peebo with a long pass down, and it was over the head of Kyle Gregg, and it goes all the way back to John McCarthy.
Yeah, I think we're better off when we play it into his feet, because when we're playing it in the air, You know, Carl's 6 foot odd, but the other two lads, they're 2 or 3 inches taller than him.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not winning much in the air. When we get it played into feet, it looks a lot better.
Here is Dewey with a header on it. Abraham Vion now with it at his feet. Little couple nifty moves over to Lopez and looking for Dugeri down the line, and Otta was not expecting that, and so the ball
Oh, it's a throw-in.
actually goes off of the corner post for a throw-in deep down in the corner on the near side.
This is what we want to do now, is keep them pinned in that corner. Don't let them out.
Less than 10 minutes to go here in the first half as we play in the 36th minute. Ball's out of bounds off of Dewey. It'll be a Rochester throw-in.
I thought that came off the shin of the white, didn't you?
I did too, but no one complained, so obviously I guess Peebo got a
I can't
foot on
believe
it.
that.
Yeah.
I can't believe what I just saw.
No one complained, so
No.
here is the pass intercepted off the throw-in. Thomas with a nice clear out. Back to Miller. Over to Evans, and he touches it over to Mark Howard. Up to Thomas, and back to Garrett.
Played that well.
Up to Thomas. Thomas comes over to Dewey, near touchline. Dewey to Abraham Vion is out of his reach, and it's intercepted by Garzi for the Rhinos. Back to Slojic, and he goes over on the far touchline. Now here's a pass that comes into the middle field. Mark Howard gets ahead on it. Thomas gets 1-2. And Rochester has it at midfield. And Sanchez will play it out for the Rhinos. Actually played it back, and it's cleared, and the flag is up as offsides is called, as I believe Colin Roth came back to try to play that.
Yeah, he came back off from an offside position.
And on the free kick, Evans kicks it out over the head of Dugeri, so another throw-in for the Rhinos.
Keep them pinned in now. Now, if they can do that, they're letting them out of the corners.
Mendoza with it. Thomas kicked it out, and no decision has been made, and they say it went off of a Rochester player. I don't think anyone knew who it came off him, so they just gave it
down
to.
here didn't make a move. he just stood there.
So it'll be a throw-in for the Energy.
Him and the assistant are having a chat about who it did come off.
Thomas will take the throw-in as he waits for Evans to come all the way from his defensive side into the box. As he stands at the edge of the 6. Here's the throw-in, and it's headed out by the Rhinos. Thomas will let it bounce. It goes out of bounds again for another throw-in. 38th minute here in Oklahoma City. No score yet. Dugeri with it. Here's a cross in, and dangerous play. Lichty almost got a head on it, but Rochester clear it with a head ball. And now here comes the Rhinos across midfield. And Lopez steps in to intercept the ball. Down the touchline to Lichty, and Lichty gives chase, but it's going to be too hard. It'll be out of bounds for a goal kick.
Yeah, Lopez done very well there. Turned inside him and played it back down the line, but just overhit it a little bit. He thought David was on a motorbike.
David's fast, Mo, but not that fast, right?
That's right, yeah.
Here's the goal kick by McCarthy. Headed out by Thomas at midfield. Kicked back in by the Rhinos. Rosenlund with a pass over to Obasi. And now here is Slojic. He will send it up down the far touchline, and a little bit too hard as it goes into the box, and Kempen out to pick it up. He will quickly throw it out on the ground to Mark Howard here on the near side, and Howard gives it up to Michael Thomas. Thomas with a touch pass to Dewey. Back to Howard. And over to Gareth Evans. And Evans will have a long pass up and over the head of everyone as it goes into the other box, and there's John McCarthy with it at his feet again. 40th minute here at Purple Stadium. A couple of excellent opportunities for the Energy early on in this half, and Rochester had a great opportunity as well in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think if you was a totally supporter of neither side, I think you'd say that they had one really, really good chance, and we had two.
Here is Roth with it for Rochester. Evans with nice defense that time, and He's able to keep Roth in a position that Kyle Miller can come over and help, and he clears it out. And now a throw-in for the Rhinos on the far touchline. Ball comes to the edge of the box and kicked back by the Energy. Now the Rochester Rhinos played at midfield, and Kyle Gregg actually got a hand on it. He will be called for a handball, so the Rhinos will have a free kick right pretty much near midfield. Just to the left of the circle. Rosenlund will put it back in play. Here is Slojic into the box, and a dangerous play. Nice save by Kippen on a shot by the Rhinos. Kippen with another great save. That's his second save of the night.
See, and that's the thing. We've had probably 70% of the game, and then suddenly they break away and they get a really good chance. And Kempin done tremendous. That's twice he saved us.
I believe that might have been Slojic on the shot. I'm not sure. I didn't get a good look at who that was.
I don't know. I know the fullback went forward, Slojic.
Yeah, it was a great save, though, by Kempin. Here's Abraham Vion with a defensive try, but Rhinos come away with it. And now midfield, Garzi with it, and he will play it out to Alex Dixon down the far touchline. Dixon being defended by Kyle Miller. Here's a pass into Mendoza, edge of the box. Mendoza has it taken away by the Energy and cleared out of bounds by Kyle Miller here in the 42nd minute for Rochester throw-in. Ball comes into the captain for Rochester, Rosenlund. Over to McMahon, and they will play it up now. Pass into the box, and it goes over the head of Kyle Miller, who will let it go for John Kempin.
Yeah, I'm sure John chatted for that.
So Kempin will walk it out to the top of the box, and we'll punt it out here in a second. Here it is, high in the air and headed up by Rochester back in. And no one there as Mark Howard goes back for the Energy. And now we'll turn with it. We'll play it to Lopez, and he touches it out to Evans. Evans will touch it up, looking for Kyle Gregg right at midfield. Gregg plays it back now to Lopez. Lopez comes over to Dewey. Dewey has his pass intercepted by Sanchez. And now here's Rosenlund, and Lopez has a foul, and now a quick restart, and they're actually going to bring the ball back as they tried to gain about 6 or 8 yards from that foul, and so the referee will make them play it back where the foul actually occurred, and that's even worse. But hey, yeah, let's just go as they actually move the ball 15 yards up. Oh boy. Here is a pass cleared by Rochester. Evans with a header on it, and it goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Well, no damage done, Mo, so
Yep.
Rochester gets it in. A couple of minutes left to go here in the first half in Oklahoma City. No score. And Dewey steps in front of a pass and takes it away, and he has his pass knocked out of bounds. It'll be an Energy throw-in right in front of their own bench, right to our right. Throw-in comes into Thomas. Ball is in the air. Otta looking to get a head on it, and Rochester has it. And now Abraham Vion with it, and the ball is knocked out by Rochester. It'll be an Energy throw-in. Dewey will take the throw. Headed up by Sanchez. Rosenlund with a clear. Lopez with a head on it, and it goes out of bounds. Another throw-in. Just about a minute to go here in the first half. We'll see how much stoppage time they will add here. Probably not a whole lot, Mo, because there was really not a lot of stoppage.
No, there wasn't. I wouldn't have thought there'd have been any stoppage, to be fair. I think it's been a very open game. Both sides have moved the ball very quickly and done their throws, etc. I just think that we've had far more of the play, you know, and we really haven't got anything to show for it. But I suppose if you come off at 0-0, something to build on.
There was a foul at midfield on Michael Thomas, so the Rhinos had a free kick. And they took it quickly, and now a foul coming out as Kyle Miller intercepted a pass, and he is fouled by Alex Dixon. And so it will be coming out for the Energy. And they will just take their time and probably satisfied Mo with a 0-0 draw here in the first half, although they had some great chances. But again, Rochester had a couple of good chances.
Yeah, Rochester, if I was really honest, Rochester had the 5 chances, we've had 3, but they've had the 2 best chances, and it's been due to the fact that John Kempin made 2 tremendous saves that saved us, and then the other guys, you know, when he's hit the crossbar, goodness.
And we got our answer today.
See, I got up this morning and did mine.
So here we go with the second half action from Oklahoma City. Jack Damrow, Mo Borm, glad to have you along on 96.1 KXY as well as YouTube. For those watching in Rochester, New York, we appreciate it. And Rochester has it quickly down in their offensive end, but Michael Thomas comes away with it, and he will clear it up to Kyle Miller, and he just kind of kicks it out. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester here to start the second half. Yeah,
not a good ball there by Michael. He put Kyle in a lot of trouble there. It'd have been better off playing it up to the forwards.
Ball comes in and played to the far side to Pat McMahon. McMahon over to Josemar Sanchez, and the ball comes all the way back now for the Rhinos, and now they have a chance here. Here is Mendoza, near side to Alex Dixon, just to the corner, and here is his cross, and it's headed off the chest, actually taken off the chest, and a foul is going to be called. No goal. It's going to be coming out as Cyprian Hedrick was pushed in the back. Not sure who did the pushing, but the foul is called, and no goal for Rochester.
That was a let-off again. I mean, we were... I didn't even see the push, to be fair, but obviously the referee did, which is a godsend.
So the free kick, Kempin will take the free kick, headed up by Paul White, who just came into the game for David Lichty, Kyle Miller, and Rochester now has it. Rosenlund will now play it back to his defensive line to Tony Walls. And Walls goes far touch line to Pat McMahon. McMahon has it just near midfield, and he will play it all the way back again to Walls. Walls up the touch line and over a couple players' head, and Cyprian will let it bounce into the box, and Kempin will come out to get it, and he will play from his feet. And now John wants everyone to clear out of there, and so he will probably pick it up and punt it. Again, the Energy going into the wind here in the second half, and not sure of the wind speed. Have to check it here in just a second. Who's going to give me the wind speed up here? Just here is the ball played out by Gareth Evans, and he actually kicked it off of Alex Dixon. It goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I think Carl wanted to play that back to the keeper, and Gareth just went through to get out of the way, Carl, and played it forward.
Cassie Gage with her wind direction. Mo, it's actually died down to only 12 miles an hour, so not a factor here in Oklahoma. Ball was kicked out by Rochester. It'll be an Energy throw-in near midfield. 48th minute just underway. The first couple of minutes here in the second half. Paul Wyatt with it, and it's actually tried to clear. Here's Otto with a now a play in the box, and Rochester tried to clear it, and it kind of bounced off of Otto right into the box. So Dugeri gave chase, and John McCarthy out.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky there. If it had come off of his shin a little bit lighter, he would have probably got to it. Good header there.
Kyle Miller with a head ball. Comes back by Rochester to midfield. Rosenlund with a touch pass up to Alex Dixon just outside the box. Being defended by Miller. Here's a shot by Mendoza, and Cyprian right there. And headed out by Mikey Lopez for the Energy. Nice defense that time for the men in blue. Lopez will clear it up. Rochester, though, gets a bad touch on it, and the Energy now take over. Abraham Vion with it. Far touch line now to Dewey. Dewey looking up to Paul Wyatt, and it's knocked away by Tony Walls. The right to Vion. He runs right into Michael Thomas, who takes it. Dewey with it now. Up to Paul Wyatt. Wyatt gets away from one man, switches directions, and has it taken away. A foul occurred, but they're going to play on. Alex Dixon with it. Here is Mendoza. Mendoza to Dixon, and he will play it back to Obasi. Obasi into the circle to Garzi, and he goes far side to McMahon. Rochester slowing down here in a bit more possession, Mo, as they start the second half. Again, we're going to see how tired they become if they do.
Yeah.
Here's a shot by Mendoza, and it's way off the mark. It'll be a goal kick for the Energy.
Yeah, they look, well, one guy's limping in the middle of the park, and this is where the knocks start coming out into the second half. But, you know, for the first couple of minutes they've been playing, they've looked fairly sharp still. I don't know whether they'll start wilting or whether they have played different players on Friday night.
Goal kick for John Kempen. Ball kind of holds up into this wind. Headed at midfield. And knocked out by Rochester. An Energy throw-in, far side touchline in the middle of the field. Throw-in comes in, headed out of bounds. Another throw-in for the Energy. Good crowd here tonight, Mo. I like it.
Yeah, it's superb again.
On a tough night to draw, yeah.
Yeah, very, very hard night to get a crowd in here, and I think they'd sold 3,500 tickets, and there's certainly that many, and maybe more.
Yeah, definitely a good walk-up crowd.
Yep.
They did have several tickets remaining, and looks like they sold most of those. Really, the crowds in USL all year long, Mo, have been spectacular, all around the league.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Throw-in comes in. Energy take it away. Here's Paul White with a pass down to the touchline to Vion. Over to Due. Now to Michael Thomas. Thomas looking for Abraham Vion. Down into the corner. And it's knocked out by Walls. It'll be a throw-in for the Energy deep down in the corner, on the far corner of the field.
I would certainly like to think that they're going to start to weaken Rochester, because, you know, they are a very, very, very quick break-in physical side, and you know, I'd have thought to keep up that sort of work rate in 3 games in 5 days is going to be very difficult. So I would like to think that they're going to start maybe looking a little bit weaker, because they certainly shut you down quickly.
Energy have the ball. Here's a play into the box. Kyle Gregg can't get a handle on it, and it's cleared by, I believe that is a Slojic.
Yeah, done very well there. Big lad. And he's not slow for a tall, big lad that like himself. He's fairly quick. Done very well there to keep Carl off his back.
It'll be an Energy throw-in. Michael Thomas will take it. He will wait for Gareth Evans to take up his spot in the box at the edge of the 6.
This is a rehearsed throw, I'm sure.
And look, he'll be double-teamed, yeah.
Yeah, they stand someone right in front of him every time.
Evans now moves off of the edge. And it's flicked on by Gregg, but touched by Rochester. Thomas with the try, and along the goal line, and he gets a goal or a corner kick out of it.
He was flagging actually for a foul. The guy hit him.
I guess they played the advantage real quick, and then he got the corner kick right after that same spot.
He got hit. The linesman, to be fair, flagged immediately, and then they gave him the advantage of playing, and then the guy played it out for a corner. So. Worst ways, we got a corner which we'd have only got a free kick about another 6 yards further in.
Dugeri will take it. It is in the air and headed out by Rochester.
That was unlucky.
And Due will let it go out of bounds for a throw-in. Will they take a quick one, or will Thomas come over? They'll let Thomas come over and take the throw-in. He throws it in instead of going into the box. He throws it into Due. Now back to him. To Vion down the line, and it's well, I guess Abraham Vion kind of turned around and the ball went out across the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester. 54th minute here in Oklahoma City, no score yet. Neither team with a real good chance here in the second half after some good opportunities in the first, and a foul has been called as looked like Mikey Lopez climbed the back of the Rochester Rhino, so it'll be a free kick for Rochester. And they will play it back, actually. And it comes to the near side to Obasi. Obasi's pass is knocked out by Dugeri. Another throw-in for Rochester.
He did well there, Addy. He shut the guy down very, very quickly. The guy didn't know he was on top of him, and as he's gone to pass it, he's just hit Addy's leg and gone out for another throw.
Ball comes in to Rosenlund. Back to Obasi, and he just knocks it out. It'll be an Energy throw-in at midfield. Kyle Miller to take the throw in. Paul Wyatt right there. Wyatt trying to fight off Dixon. Kyle Miller there, up to Kyle Gregg, to Vion. One touch down the line, looking for Miller. Miller, can he get it before it goes out? No, he cannot. It crosses the touch line. It'll be another throw in for Rochester.
Yeah, well meant ball there by Abe. He hit it over the back of the defenders, but it just one bounce, and it before Kyle could get it under control, it just bounced out, and by half a yard, but it was out.
Throw in went all the way to the keeper, and he had to just one touch it out. Hedrick with a header on it. Paul Wyatt with a header to Abraham Vion. Vion has it taken away by Rosenlund. And now to Mike Garzi. Garzi brings it across midfield.
This is where they break quick.
This is Mendoza, excuse me. Down the line to Dixon. Dixon being defended by Lopez, and Lopez able to knock it out, slows the attack, and a Rochester throw in. And a whistle, and
I think Mendoza was looking for a foul, which
okay.
he probably was justified.
Throw in comes into Rosenlund. He sends it far side to McMahon. And McMahon will play it back to Walls. Being defended by Gregg. Here's a pass into the box, headed out by Cyprian Hedrick to Vion. And now Michael Thomas plays it back to Douay. One touches it up to Vion. And back to Douay. Headed up by Rochester. Michael Thomas with a little flick onto himself, and he's grabbed from behind, but they're going to play on. Across midfield, Abraham Vion looking for someone to pass to. Has Lopez. Lopez up to Otta. He can't get it over Rochester head, and it's cleared out. Paul Wyatt, very active since he's come in, Mo.
Yeah, it looks very sharp.
And he has the ball off of the still, bottom of the circle. Touches it over to Vion. Vion to Thomas. Thomas waiting for Kyle Miller, and there's Miller down the touchline. Looking for Otta down the touchline. Off his left foot, goes back to Miller, and Miller has to play it back to Thomas, and Dixon able to defend. Lopez, though, with it. Over to Douay, off of his chest, he brings it down to his foot, and to Vion, and Vion one touches it, able to get by one defender. Here's Paul Wyatt, top of the box, and looking for Vion in the box, and it's taken away by Rochester, and Abraham fouls him, and I believe that should be coming out.
No, no, I think it was more impetus than he meant. I don't think he meant to foul him there. I think he just caught him. He was the momentum, and they shook hands, and that was fair enough. He's kicked him all afternoon, so.
And they did call a foul, so Rochester will have it.
Yeah. Oh, it was definitely a foul.
Yeah, no doubt. 58th minute. Sorry, Mo.
Sorry, no, I like the reaction of the Rochester guy. He just jumped up, didn't make a meal of it. You know, it's great when you see that, rather than them rolling around as though they're poleaxed, and you know, it kills the game because the referee gets slanted by it.
On the free kick, it was knocked out by the Energy, and a throw-in comes in. Obasi now with it, being defended by Lopez with a little shirt tug. He's double-teamed, and now Dixon has it to the middle of the field. Here's Mendoza, and cleared by the Energy with a chance. They have numbers. Here's Kyle Gregg looking to go forward across midfield. And Douay has it, but has to slow up. And he will play it back to Michael Thomas at the bottom of the circle. And Thomas has it taken away from behind. And now here is Dixon for Rochester. We have a player down, Colin Roth, for the Rhinos. They're going to continue to play, though. Roth was the one who tackled Thomas from behind and came up on the shorter end of the stick with the injury, but now he's back up and playing. Energy did a great job, though, getting back and stopping the attack. Here is McMahon. McMahon to Rosenlund. Looking for Mendoza near side. Dugeri guarding him. And they will play it back to Obasi. And now back to who is that? Slojic, and he has it knocked out by an Energy player, and so it'll be a throw-in for Rochester. Headed up by Lopez. Thomas right there. It goes off of the jersey. Actually, who's it going to go off of? It's going to go off of a Rochester Rhino player. It'll be a throw-in for Oklahoma City. 59th minute, no score. Lopez looking to go long down the field. The ball holds up into the air. Headed up by the Rhinos. Douay now there with it. Kind of slips and has to switch directions.
Turns out to be superb.
Here is Wyatt looking for Thomas. And it's taken away by
I
by
honestly
Rhino,
think
I'm
that
sorry.
whoever that guy is, I think he's their weakness, the second centre back. The left back I think is very good, and the other centre back, but he's made about 3 mistakes in about 3 minutes.
Throw in for the Energy comes into Douay. They will send it back to Hedrick. Over to now to Evans near side. And Garrett's pass is knocked away and out of bounds as Mendoza, boy, he's been all over the field.
Yeah, he's busy, that lad. I mean, he really does shut people down, and he throws his body in the way. In saying that, I think that Gareth's first touch has not been good tonight, and he's having to take a second touch, and he's getting caught with it.
Ball comes in, cleared out defensively by the Energy, and headed up by Rochester out of bounds. And some story behind Mendoza. He was actually in camp early on with the Energy and ended up with Rochester.
Did he?
Yes. And now they're looking for a ball. And finally, Kyle Miller will have one and throws it in. And we're ready to go. 61st minute. Mikey Lopez. Back to Hedrick. And Cyprian's pass is intercepted by Rochester. And now here they come on an attack. Across midfield. And knocked down by Lopez. Now Abraham Beyond to Otto Dugeri. Dugeri looking for Kyle Gregg. Back to Paul Wyatt. Wyatt to Vion. Back to Wyatt, and a slide tackle and a nice defensive play by Rochester, but Cyprian right there to come up defensively to get it. Wyatt can't control it. Now Kyle Miller has it for the Energy. His pass is taken away by Rochester. Here's Mendoza trying to break away from Michael Thomas. Up to Obasi, and now here's Dixon. Dixon will run with it in the middle of the field. And here's a shot, and it's going to go left of the post for a goal kick for the Energy.
Yeah, good shot there. They were a bit unlucky there, Rochester. We've just got to be careful when they break. They certainly break with some sort of aim at going at goal, and they're not frightened to run at people. I think that we just got to play it over the top of the guys, and that makes it a little bit more difficult than it sounds, because they're all 7'9", and you know when you hit it too high, it just shoots off the grass and goes over a goal kick.
And here is the goal kick by Kempen. Headed up by Rochester, up to Roth. Roth to Mendoza. Over to Rosenlund. Playing against Lopez. Now to Dixon. Edge of the box and stolen by the Energy. Kyle Miller with it. He will touch it up to Paul Wyatt. And a push in the back, and it's called. Patrick Slojic. Foul called against him. So the Energy will have a free kick.
Who's the foul? I think he's the weak link. That's where we've got to play at him. Every time he goes in, he fouls somebody.
6'6", 185 pounds, well,
Yeah.
out of Colorado Springs. Here's a free kick by the Energy. Paul Wyatt, edge of the box, and Rochester will clear it out. Gareth Evans gets pushed off the ball, and Roth has it. Up to Mendoza now. And Mendoza will slow it up for Dixon. And Dixon will switch the field and head to the far side to McMahon. And now it goes to the touchline, into the middle now. Back it comes to Mendoza, and Paul Wyatt steps in to intercept it. Michael Thomas looking downfield to go. And he's looking for Kyle Gregg. And here is Otto Dugeri. And also is Patrick Slojic. And Slojic will carry it out of bounds. Yes, he will. It'll be a throw-in, but boy, the Energy had a chance right there, because Otto almost got by Slojic, Mo, for a chance.
That was a great ball by Michael Thomas. He has tremendous vision, Michael, and he's hit a ball through the park. A superb ball.
Here's a pass into the box by Douay, and it holds up into the air, and John McCarthy comes and reaches over Kyle Gregg and brings it in. 64th minute. McCarthy will throw it out to the near side to Obasi. Left-footed pass up to Roth. It's over his head. Evans heads it up and out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester. And looks like they're going to make a substitution as J.C. Banks gets set to check into the game for the Rhinos. Evans steps in front of the throw, and the Energy have it. Dugeri with a pass up to Gregg, with a little nice flick on to Paul Wyatt, looking for Michael Thomas, and it's going to be too hard, and it is a throw-in as it goes off the touchline, so a throw-in deep in the corner for the Rochester Rhinos.
If we can keep them pegged down right in this corner, Don't let him get out of the corner.
'65th minute here in Oklahoma City. No score again. Rochester with a throw-in deep in the corner. Flicked on by Roth up to Mendoza. To Dixon, who keeps it in bounds. Energy take over, though. Evans with a quick pass up. Here's Vion.
Oh, great skill.
Top of the arc. And defended nicely by Tony Walls as he kicks it out. It'll be an Energy throw-in, but a nice little touch by Abraham Vion, and he would have got by him.
Yeah, first touch was superb. It's as he went past, the guy got his toe to it and kicked it out. He did very well.
And now they will wait for Michael Thomas to come over and take the throw in. And believe it or not, Mo, Gareth will not head into the box. It will be Cyprian Hedrick that will head into the box.
Yeah, fresh legs. And he's as good in the air as Gareth.
Here's the throw in, headed out by Rochester. Roth with a head on it, bounces over his head though, and Evans will quickly get it back up in there, headed out again by the Rhinos.
That's where his touch is good, that lad.
Here is Mendoza, yeah, at midfield, working against Hedrick, and a nice defense that time by Cyprian to knock it out for a Rochester throw-in. Comes in, miscommunication between Gareth and Cyprian, and Hedrick comes out of there with it. That could have been dangerous,
yeah.
But the Energy come away with it.
Yeah, they just they weren't sure who was taking what or doing what.
Paul Wyatt at midfield has it taken away. And now here's Rochester. Pace starting to pick up a little bit here in the 66th minute.
Yeah, if anything, when they break, they sit back and sit back. But when they break, that was offside.
Yeah.
Sorry. But when they do break, they break very, very quickly. Very quickly.
So J.C. Banks will now check in, a substitution for Rochester. And it looks like he is going to replace Sanchez, I believe.
Can't see his number yet.
So Josemar Sanchez checks out. J.C. Banks checks in out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Played at Wisconsin Green Bay last year. Here is the restart, and it's headed out of bounds by Kyle Gregg. It'll be a Rochester throw-in. Just about a little less than 25 minutes to go. Energy haven't lost in 4 straight. One last weekend here against Sacramento. We will see Sacramento next Saturday night again. So we'll see Sacramento twice within 3 weeks, Mo, and it should be a good series by the time this season's over between those two teams, Energy and Sacramento, with what happened last week.
Yeah, and then we've got to go to Sacramento near the end of the season as well.
Yep, twice.
Yeah.
Ball was out, throw-in occurred, and here comes Kempen out. And Kempen able to grab it quickly, throws it out quickly to Kyle Miller. Miller up to Otta. Otta can't get a good foot on it, and it's stolen by Rochester into Rosenlund. Rosenlund to the middle of the field to Banks. Banks over to Rosenlund. They will switch fields to McMahon. No one there for the Energy. Just outside the box, now in the box. McMahon, top of the 6, cleared by Otta. Headed back in by the Rhinos, top of the box. Here is McMahon again. He puts it to the far touchline. Now Banks with it. Banks will send it in, and it's too hard, and it bounces in front of Kempen. Top of the little tricky bounce for John, and he's able to knock it down.
Yeah, they're very patient, and when they, as I say, I keep saying this, but when they do break, they're patient, then they go boom, and they really do attack you. I can understand how they get their results, because we've defended quite well against them.
Ball bounces in the middle of the field. After the Energy cleared it out, Rosenlund comes down with it for the Rhinos. Looking for Dixon. Dixon back to McMahon. Over to Rosenlund, just outside the circle offensively. Looking for someone to pass to. He will turn and pass it back to Garzi, and Garzi will come all the way over here to the near side to Abassi, and now back to Garzi. He missed it, but...
Yeah, very fortunate there, wasn't it? He completely missed it, and it ran to another player.
Right to Rosenlund. McMahon with it to Banks, and it's taken away by Abraham Vion. He continues to, with more time, Mo, he just continues to play better every game.
Oh, he's had some great games, and he's really busy as well.
Here is Otta. Dugeri with a pass down to Miller. Back to Dugeri. Dugeri to Paul Wyatt, edge of the box. Wyatt with a chance. Here's a shot, and it's going to go wide left of the post. It'll be a goal kick for the Rochester Rhinos. Walker Companies, located in the heart of downtown Oklahoma City, is a proud partner of OKC Energy FC. Head to 121 Northwest 6th Street or visit walkercompanies.com for all your large format digital printing and promotional marketing needs. Jack Danro, Mo Bourne from Pribble Stadium on the campus of Bishop McGinnis High School.
This is the good thing with our squad, is that Sip's come in and he hasn't made any weakness with Mark coming out, and with Paul coming in, he plays the same sort of game as David Litchie. So it doesn't weaken us.
And here's a foul that occurred off the goal kick, and Kyle Gregg was fouled by Slojic as he just kind of climbed the back as Stephen Perry gets set to check into the game, more than likely for Kyle Gregg. Oh, for Otto, okay, for Dugeri.
Oh, is it?
All right. Here is Kyle Miller with the ball. Here's a pass into Kyle Gregg. It's just over his head, and Rochester clears it. Obasi with it. He will bring it up. Gets it through a couple of players. Here is Banks. Banks will slow it and go backwards to Rosenlund, who now will carry with it down the near touch line. No one defending, and now here's Thomas, and here's Dugeri. Rosenlund looking for a cross, and headed out by Dewey on a nice play, but actually it's going to be offsides. That is called against Rochester, so it'll not be a corner kick. It will be a free kick for Oklahoma City, and Dugeri comes out of the game. And Stephen Perry checks in for Otta Dugeri. Nice effort tonight by Dugeri. So the graduate of Bishop McGinnis High School comes into the game here at Bishop McGinnis High School. Paul Wyatt with the ball down the touch line, and it's knocked out. Actually, it looked like it might have gone off the foot of a Rhino, but no one's arguing, so it'll be a Rochester throw-in. 72nd minute. Less than 20 to go. No score. Wyatt intercepts the throw-in. Perry has it taken away on a slide tackle. Rosenlund looking to go up to Roth, and it's over everyone's head, and Kempen out to make the grab. Kempen taking his time, and he lays it down to the ground, and now here is his kick out. Ball is up into the air and taken by Rochester, but Dewey right there. Peebo brings it across midfield to Michael Thomas. He goes back, plays it back to Lopez, and Lopez has it taken away by Roth. Roth over to Dixon. And nice defensive effort that time by Lopez to take it away. And a long pass up looking for Kyle Gregg on the quick counterattack. A little bit too hard, and it's to the keeper, John McCarthy.
This has been our problem most of the time. When we do break, we just seem to overhit the last final pass, and that's where it counts, that final pass.
Rosenlund has it in the circle now, far side to McMahon. Over to Mendoza and back to Rosenlund, just the edge of the circle. Now he brings it in to the circle at midfield. Little touch pass in, and now it comes back to him. And he wants a foul, and he's going to get one as Paul Wyatt came in late from behind. And instead of playing on, Rosenlund wanted the foul, so he got it.
I think what Paul's saying is, hey, listen, I kicked him, but he kicked me 2 minutes ago. Exactly the same. So I can understand the players' frustrations when one player does it and he doesn't get it, and then the other player does and he does get it. I just think it's what the referee sees and what he doesn't see.
Here's McMahon. And now the ball comes near side to Obasi. Guarded against Stephen Perry. Gets around Perry and sends it into the box. Evans with a header out. Perry with a little chest trap down to Michael Thomas. Thomas plays it back to Miller. He'll have to hurry, and he does clear it. Up to Kyle Gregg. Nice little touch pass to Paul Wyatt. Energy have the numbers. 3-on-2. Here it is to Perry. Inside the box. And it's cleared out for a corner kick defensively. Nice job by Patrick Slojic, or else Stephen Perry has a great opportunity at a shot.
I can understand what Stephen Perry's saying. He was all the way through. He was pushed, pulled, tugged, and the referee didn't do anything about it. Maybe trying to play the advantage, but I thought he was pushed 3 or 4 times, and he does, because look at him talking to the referee now.
So it'll be a corner kick for the Energy. Abraham Vion will take the corner. Cyprian Hedrick and Gareth Evans now in the box, coming up from their defensive line. Here is the shot, headed up, still in the air, bounces once, and the keeper McCarthy there to get it.
Yeah, could have done with being just a tad quicker there. It was bouncing around in the box, and the keeper did well to come out and say it's mine.
Rochester with it as they come to midfield, far side of the field. And they will play it out to McMahon on the wing. He's looking for Dixon, and it's too hard. It bounces once right to John Kempen. Kempen will quickly throw it out to Kyle Miller, who's all by himself. He has plenty of real estate in front of him.
Got Paul White going as well.
Here is Stephen Perry. Perry looking for Lopez, and a foul has occurred as Roth pushes Lopez in the back as Pete Caringi gets set to check into the game. And now a quick restart for the Energy.
I would think they'll take Carl off now and give him. He's done quite well, worked very hard. They'll probably put Pete up front in place of Carl. Fresh legs again for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
76th minute here in Oklahoma City, no score. Flicked on by Greg, flicked on by Wyatt, and it's out of bounds off of the Energy. It'll be a Rochester throw in, and they're not going to be able to get the sub in that time. Jimmy wanted it at that time, but they just could not get it in. Ball still in play. J.C. Banks pass intercepted by Miller. Miller looking down the field, but he can't get it over the head of Slojic. And Rochester back with it. Here is Dixon, and he'll play it back to Obasi. Obasi in the middle to Mendoza. Dangerous opportunity here against the Energy. Here is Dixon along the goal line and headed out of bounds by Evans. It'll be a corner kick for Rochester, I believe their first of the night.
Yeah, the guy who made the run there, he's been busy all the game. They've made the substitution now. Yeah, Carl's come off.
Kyle Gregg comes off. Pete Caringi checks in. Fresh legs now for the Energy up front. Although Caringi comes in and goes in back into the box to defend on this corner kick.
Well, he's very good in the air, Pete. So.
I believe J.C. Banks will take this corner for Rochester. And here we go. We're going to restart here. Banks is cross, lined in there, headed up, and over the crossbar by Slojic. It'll be a goal kick for the Energy.
Yeah, to me, he's been their player of the game, Slojic. The big tall lad. He's is it? No, sorry, it's not Slojic. It's Abassa. Abassa's been exceptional.
Okay, see, Energy fans, head to Buffalo Wild Wings, located on Northwest Expressway after the game to satisfy your hunger. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. Buffalo Wild Wings on Northwest Expressway is a proud partner of OKC Energy FC. Buffalo Wild Wings on Northwest Expressway. You have to be here. We will be there on Tuesday night for the Energy FC weekly coaches show. Mo and I will be. Rochester has it after the goal kick. Banks looking for Rosenlund, intercepted by Kyle Miller. Up to Stephen Perry, looking for someone. And he has Wyatt at midfield. Wyatt double team and still has it down the touchline. Here he goes. Can he get away? No, he cannot. And a whistle is going to occur, and a foul is going to be called against Patrick Slojic as he grabbed Paul Wyatt's shoulders and kind of pulled him backwards. It will be a free kick for the Energy. About 12 minutes to go here tonight. Michael Thomas will take the free kick as he puts the ball just in front of Jimmy Nilsson, who is standing at the edge of his technical area off to the right. Thomas waiting for everyone to get into the box, specifically Hedrick and Evans.
There's a little bit of barging going on in there, and everyone's pushing everyone, so referee's gone in to talk to a couple of them.
Here is the free kick by Thomas. He lines it in there. It is in the air, bounces once, bounces twice. Energy wanted a penalty kick. They're not going to get it. Rochester has it. They will clear it out all the way down the field, and Dewey will head back and sends it all the way back to Kempen, being chased by Dixon, and he has to just one-touch it out of there. Not really a great clear as it comes to Thomas, to Miller, back to Thomas now, right in front of us along the touchline to Perry, and Perry is able to get a throw-in out of it as he kicks it off of Obasi. And now we'll have a couple of substitutions for the Rochester Rhinos as Min Vu comes into the game, as well as Levi Hapu. So Vu comes in and he replaces, that is, who is that? Colin Roth?
Yeah, I think 22, is it?
And Levi Hapu has replaced Alex Dixon. So here we go with a throw in for the Energy. And knocked out by the Rhinos, Slojek. It'll be another throw in for Oklahoma City. 80th minute, ball comes in short to Kyle Miller, to Karinji. And Karinji's pass to Thomas is cleared by the Rhinos. Hedrick all the way back. And he gets it to Kimpin, who has to actually come out of his box to get it.
You can come forward.
No one actually defending Kimpin. And he will now clear it up. Karinji tries to flick it on. Lopez has it. Abraham Villon gets it away from Rhino. And here is Walls, and Walls will just clear it out all the way to the other end. And Evans will head it back to John Kimpin, who will pick it up with his hands.
That was uncharted territory for Lopez. He's gone steaming up. He's in the goal area. Did well, really. Bit unlucky not to get on the end of it. It's a great running for considering it's the last 10 minutes of the game. It must be hot out there.
There is Kimpin's clear, and Thomas knocked it out of bounds. It'll be a Rochester throw-in as they get set to bring in two more people. Babacar Diallo and Kyle Hoffer will check in here in just a bit. Rochester has a throw-in. Flicked on by Banks. Wyatt, though, to intercept it, but a bad pass, and he gets it to Hapu, who then went one-on-one with Hedrick, and Hedrick clears it out for a throw-in. Kyle Hoffer checks in, as does Babacar Diallo. And they bring in two new defensively.
So they brought in two more centre backs, and the guys moved over. The centre backs moved over to left back.
So Slojik has come out, as has Obasi.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Obasi's come out, but Slojak I'm not. He was causing all sorts of problems for them.
82nd minute. Rochester with possession. Far touchline. Hapu has it, but taken away by Diallo. Diallo has it for the Rhinos. Hoffer now far side to McMahon. Defended nicely by Villon and touched out of there. Up to Vu. And he will knock it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Energy.
Yeah, I can understand Rochester bringing in 3 or 4 players. I mean, you know, they've had a hard schedule. He's brought in 4, isn't he? 4 new, fresh legs. Last 10 minutes gives them a fresh impetus, and you know, I mean, that's exactly what he should have done.
Energy with it. Stephen Perry gets fouled, but they're going to play on. Here is Kyle Miller. Miller up to Michael Thomas. It's knocked away by Diallo, and it goes back to the keeper, who will flick it up to himself, McCarthy. Looks like he will punt it out of there. Across midfield, headed up by P. Bodue. And Rochester takes over at midfield, but a bad pass, and it's intercepted by Stephen Perry, who gives it up to Kyle Miller. Miller runs it up to Perry across midfield, and he was looking for Karinji, and he went the other way.
Karinji was looking to go down the line. He had already started making the run. And instead of playing it there, he played it where he was instead of where he was going.
Here's Rochester now with a chance. Rosenlund with it on the near touchline. Gives it back to Mendoza. Mendoza, edge of the box. To Vu, to Banks, and cleared by Hedrick to Paul Wyatt. Wyatt will now run with it. Splits, tried to split 2, and it's taken over by Rochester. Banks with a long shot, and it's over the crossbar.
Yeah, we can't get caught with the ball in this half of the park. Paul's making his runs too early. I think he's got to go into their attacking half before he starts making his little mazy runs. He's starting to do it from sort of like 25, 30 yards out from our goal. If he gets caught, they're on a counter attack.
We will choose our man of the match after the game, and right now, my vote, right now, Mo, unless things change, would be John Kempen for the great saves in the first half.
Oh, he's done 2 tremendous saves. I think Peebo's played superb as well, though. I think he's had a very good game at left back.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
After the clear out by the Energy, Rochester with it. McMahon looking to go down the line, but a bad touch, and it's into the box, and on a bounce, John Kempen has it.
And to be fair, I've got to go along with you. I mean, those 2 saves were superb.
Yeah.
Superb.
Kept him in the game.
Kept him in the game. Yes, it did. 2 times, and it's not. Yeah.
Kempen clears it up. Karinji with a flick, and Rochester brings it down. Here is Rosenlund. Switching directions to Mendoza. Far touchline now. Rochester looking to put something together. Here is a cross into the box, and Kempen comes out to the top of the 6 and has it easily, and he will quickly get it out as the Energy look to move a little more quickly with about 4 minutes to go.
They've still got 8 players behind the ball.
I would believe if you're Rochester, Mo, wouldn't you be looking for a draw at this point of the game after the scheduling you've had this week?
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're thinking if we come away with here with a point, we've done well, you know, and in all fairness, we've done well. I mean, when you think they're 4th in the league, and we've probably been the better side on the night, but you know, neither side have had better than 3 opportunities. They've sort of snuffed each other out, really.
Throw in to Rochester, comes into Rosenlund, and he will play it back to Walls. And now a long cross up, and Kyle Miller brings it down off the chest, and here is Levi Hapu, and it went off of Miller, so they get a throw in. Walls will throw it in, and it comes right back to him from Rosenlund. Now to Garzi, over to Rosenlund, bottom of the circle. Banks, little dummy there, and he has it back, just the top of the box, and he can't control it, and Evans will clear it out. But Abraham did not anticipate that, and Rosenlund takes it away. 87th minute. Here is Banks with a long pass to the far side, just outside the box, and they're going to give a corner kick as it was knocked out by Dewey. So a corner kick to Rochester here in the 87th minute.
Good defending again from Peebo. He shut the guy down, and the ball, very good ball played out to the line. He had a good touch and would have got a good crossing if Peebo hadn't got across the front of him. But we've now got to be so careful because these guys are tall fellas, and this is where they could be at their most dangerous.
Mendoza will take the corner. Kind of showed a little bit of disgust because he had to run and get the ball several yards away, and that tells me he's tired.
Yep.
We will be back in action next Saturday against Sacramento Republic here at Purple Stadium. Here is the cross. It is in the air, headed up, and to Vu at the edge of the box. He looks to shoot, and he does, and it's over the crossbar. It'll be a goal kick for the Energy. As the Energy will make another substitution as Nate Schiffman will enter the game, and he will replace a tired, very tired Abraham Vion.
He's worked very hard, Abe. Very hard.
And he gets a good round of applause by the sellout crowd here at Purple Stadium. Another sellout crowd. So far, Mo, we're undefeated on sellouts. Here is Paul Wyatt off of the goal kick, looking to work against Mendoza. Mendoza actually takes it away from him. Cyprian Hedrick gets it back in there, though. Here's Karinji trying to bring it down, and he heads it over to Thomas. Thomas will slow it down. Back to Karinji. Karinji over to in the middle. Here is Stephen Perry, and he is tripped. And no foul is going to be called.
That's unbelievable. He's gone past the guy. He's got to have been tripped. I can't believe that. That is outrageous. Wow.
Perry looked like he was tripped by the keeper, McCarthy. And that would have set up a penalty kick.
He's already gone past the defender. I mean, why would he dive? And if he dived, he should have been booked for diving.
89th minute. And here's the goal kick for McCarthy and the Rhinos. It is up in the air, headed up by Thomas. Shipman right there. He heads it up, and a foul is called as Rosenlund fouled Shipman. Energy will possibly have maybe one, maybe two chances at the most as we play in the 90th minute. Gareth will let everyone set up before he takes this kick. As he yells out to Lopez, and now here is the drive up. Floats up into the air and over the head of Wyatt and cleared by the Rhinos. Hedrick, though, heads it back in. Rochester now with it in midfield, and Michael Thomas comes over to take away but falls down, and now Rochester has numbers, and here they come, trying to get a last-second shot. Down the line to Hapu. And it comes down to Rosenlund, just inside the box. Evans defending. The ball is in the air, headed up and over the crossbar.
Oh, that was close.
That could have been the game winner for Rochester. Instead, it's over the crossbar. And it'll be a goal kick for the Energy here as we play in the 90th minute. Actually, we're in stoppage time, and we'll have 2 additional minutes. So the Energy will have maybe one more chance, Mo, to try to get a late goal, and we've done it the last several games here at home, so why not now?
That would be very nice, Jack, but I think that both sides now are thinking we'll rather have a point than lose it, you know. That would be, I would be thinking.
Yeah. One more minute here as we play in the 92nd. Here in stoppage time. Goal kick flicked on by Wyatt, and it goes out. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester. We will be talking to John Kempen and Jimmy Nilsson after the game. Jim Byers standing by to talk to our man of the match, which is John Kempen. 2 great saves. Ball is at midfield. Rochester looking for a final chance. They put it to the top of the box, but it's intercepted by Kyle Miller. Now the Energy have a chance. Looking to run with it. Here is Stephen Perry, and he will slow it up. Now gives it back to Shipman, and a bad pass back, and Rochester has it, but headed up by Lopez. Lopez to Thomas. Over to Hedrick. They're going to have to hurry if they want to have a chance. And Douay's pass is headed out by Rochester, and Douay heads it out. It'll be a throw-in for Rochester, and that will probably do it.
Michael Thomas is in trouble. He's got cramp. He's really struggling now.
And there is the final whistle tonight as the Energy and Rochester play to a 2-2 draw, or